International entertainment media are once again focusing their attention on Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, following a wave of recent reports suggesting the couple has entered a serious phase of wedding planning. The relationship, which has consistently dominated headlines since it became public, is now being discussed in a different context, one that points toward long-term commitment, carefully curated privacy, and a highly considered vision for the future. According to multiple sources cited by U.S. entertainment outlets, both Kelce and Swift have noticeably shifted their public routines over the past several months. Taylor Swift, long known for her tightly managed public appearances and strategic visibility, has reportedly reduced non-essential engagements outside of her professional commitments. Travis Kelce, meanwhile, has become increasingly guarded when responding to questions about his personal life, a marked contrast to his previously open media presence. Industry observers suggest this change in behavior often precedes a major personal announcement. Speculation intensified as reports emerged regarding potential wedding locations. Sources close to the couple indicate that two distinct options are currently under consideration. The first involves an ultra-exclusive European location, valued for its historic charm, heightened security, and ability to ensure near-total privacy. Such destinations are frequently chosen by high-profile figures seeking to avoid intense media scrutiny. The second option is said to be a meaningful location within the United States, one tied to personal memories and emotional significance, designed to host a more intimate gathering while still maintaining an elegant and cinematic atmosphere. Beyond location, details surrounding the wedding concept have also begun to circulate. Contrary to expectations of a large-scale, extravagant celebration, insiders describe plans for a refined and intimate event. The concept reportedly blends classic aesthetics with modern simplicity, prioritizing emotional authenticity over spectacle. Every element, from decor to music selection, is said to be thoughtfully curated to reflect the couple's shared journey, rather than their global celebrity status. Another detail drawing attention is the reported approach to timing. Sources suggest the couple is deliberately avoiding dates that coincide with major entertainment industry events or the NFL season. Analysts interpret this as a strategic decision to ensure the occasion remains insulated from professional obligations and external distractions. By choosing a quieter window, the event would stand on its own as a personal milestone rather than a media-driven moment. While neither Travis Kelce nor Taylor Swift has publicly confirmed the reports, the accumulation of subtle signals has fueled widespread discussion among fans and pop culture commentators. Their relationship is often viewed as a convergence of two massive cultural spheres, music and professional sports, each with an enormous global following. As a result, any confirmation of marriage would likely extend beyond celebrity news, becoming a defining pop culture event. At present, representatives for both parties have declined to comment on the circulating rumors. However, as details continue to surface and public appearances remain carefully controlled, anticipation continues to build. If confirmed, the wedding of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift is expected to rank among the most closely watched celebrity events in recent memory, not only for its scale and secrecy, but for its broader cultural impact. The growing speculation has also been fueled by the involvement of close family members from both sides, which observers say is rarely coincidental. In recent months, Taylor Swift has reportedly been seen spending extended private time with Kelce's family during moments that were deliberately kept out of the public eye. Likewise, Kelce has been noted attending select Swift-related gatherings without the usual media exposure that typically follows her movements. While none of these moments were officially documented, entertainment analysts argue that this level of familial integration often signals conversations that go far beyond a casual relationship. Industry insiders further point to Taylor Swift's well-documented approach to life decisions as a key factor in understanding the current situation. Swift has long been recognized for treating major personal milestones with the same level of planning and narrative control as her professional projects. From album rollouts to tour concepts, every detail is carefully structured, often years in advance. Sources suggest that this mindset extends to her personal life, including how and when major announcements are made. If a wedding is indeed being planned, it is widely believed that the timing and presentation would be deliberate, controlled, and aligned with a broader personal narrative rather than driven by external pressure. Travis Kelce's perspective is also shaping public interpretation of these developments. The NFL star has repeatedly emphasized stability, legacy, and life beyond football in recent interviews. With his career already firmly established, many commentators believe Kelce is entering a phase where long-term personal decisions are taking priority. His reduced presence on entertainment talk shows and the absence of playful commentary about his relationship, once a staple of media coverage, are being interpreted as a conscious shift toward privacy and seriousness. Attention has also turned to the legal and logistical aspects reportedly under consideration. According to sources familiar with high-profile celebrity unions, preparations at this level often involve months of coordination related to security, guest confidentiality, and contractual privacy agreements. While no documents have been confirmed, the silence from typically well-connected insiders has only amplified speculation that non-disclosure measures may already be in place. This level of discretion, analysts note, usually accompanies events of significant scale and cultural interest. Public reaction to the rumors has been equally notable. Online discussions have surged across social media platforms, with fans dissecting everything from lyric interpretations to subtle changes in fashion choices. Some have pointed to Swift's recent styling, more muted, classic silhouettes, as symbolic of a transition into a new chapter. Others highlight Kelce's increasingly understated public appearances as evidence of alignment between the two. While such interpretations remain speculative, they reflect the intensity of public engagement surrounding the couple. Despite the frenzy, experts caution against expecting a traditional celebrity rollout. If confirmed, the announcement may come quietly, perhaps through a controlled statement rather than a high-profile reveal. This approach would align with the reported desire for authenticity and emotional grounding. Several media analysts suggest that a low-key confirmation, followed by minimal public imagery, would actually generate greater long-term impact than a conventional media spectacle. Cultural commentators also emphasize the broader significance of a potential union between Swift and Kelce. Beyond their individual fame, the pairing represents a rare intersection of two dominant cultural forces. Swift's influence spans music, fashion, and global pop culture, while Kelce stands as one of the most recognizable figures in American sports. A wedding between them would symbolize not only a personal commitment but a merging of audiences, narratives, and cultural identities. As of now, the absence of official confirmation remains the defining feature of the story. Yet, the consistency of reported details, from location considerations to conceptual themes, has led many to believe that preparations are no longer hypothetical. Whether the final decision has been made or not, the evidence suggests that conversations about marriage are being handled with intention and discretion. For the entertainment industry, this story continues to evolve in real time. Each public appearance, scheduling change, and offhand comment is scrutinized for meaning. Until a formal announcement is made, speculation will persist, driven by the couple's unmatched visibility and the cultural weight they carry. Should confirmation eventually arrive, it is expected to redefine the scale and tone of celebrity wedding coverage, setting a new benchmark for privacy, storytelling, and cultural resonance. Media analysts note that the sustained silence from both camps has become a story in itself. In an era where celebrity relationships are often managed through strategic leaks and carefully timed confirmations, the absence of direct commentary from Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift stands out. This restraint is widely interpreted as intentional. According to veteran entertainment journalists, when high-profile couples allow speculation to circulate without correction, it often indicates that the narrative unfolding in public is not entirely inaccurate, just incomplete. Behind the scenes, sources suggest that trusted inner circles are playing a central role in shaping what comes next. Rather than relying on traditional publicists alone, the couple is believed to be consulting long-standing advisors who understand not only media dynamics but also long-term legacy. This has led to speculation that any eventual announcement would be framed less as breaking news and more as a defining personal milestone, positioned carefully within their broader life stories. The question of guest lists has also quietly entered the conversation. Observers point out that recent interactions hint at a tightly curated social circle. High-profile figures who once appeared regularly around Swift or Kelce have been noticeably absent, replaced by a smaller, more consistent group of confidants. Entertainment insiders suggest this could reflect early-stage decisions about who would be included in a potential ceremony, reinforcing the idea that exclusivity and trust are central themes. Financial and branding experts have weighed in as well, emphasizing that a wedding of this magnitude carries implications beyond romance. While neither Swift nor Kelce is known to commercialize personal milestones, their union would inevitably generate massive public interest. Analysts believe this is precisely why control is being prioritized. By limiting leaks and avoiding spectacle, the couple maintains authority over their personal narrative while preventing the event from being diluted into a fleeting media cycle. Attention has also turned to how such a moment could subtly influence future creative and professional directions. For Swift, whose songwriting often reflects personal evolution, fans are already speculating about how a stable, long-term partnership might shape her artistic themes. For Kelce, discussions about post-NFL ventures, broadcasting, business, or philanthropy are increasingly framed within the context of long-term partnership and shared vision. International media coverage has further amplified the story. European outlets, in particular, have shown heightened interest following rumors of a possible overseas location. Tourism experts even note that certain historic destinations often see spikes in inquiries following celebrity associations, underscoring how far-reaching the cultural impact could be. Despite this, local authorities in rumored regions have declined to comment, adding another layer of intrigue. What remains consistent across all reporting is the emphasis on intentionality. Every alleged detail, whether about timing, location, or scale, points toward a process guided by deliberation rather than impulse. This contrasts sharply with the fast-paced, headline-driven nature of modern celebrity culture, and may explain why public fascination continues to grow rather than fade. As weeks pass without confirmation, anticipation shows no signs of slowing. Fans continue to analyze appearances, schedules, and subtle behavioral shifts, while media outlets cautiously expand their coverage without overstepping confirmed facts. The story has evolved from simple rumor into a sustained narrative about privacy, control, and the modern meaning of commitment under global scrutiny. Until an official statement is released, the situation remains fluid. Yet one conclusion is increasingly difficult to ignore. Whatever decision Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift ultimately share with the world, it is being shaped carefully, quietly, and with an awareness of its lasting significance. In an industry driven by immediacy, that patience may be the clearest signal yet that something truly consequential is on the horizon. Sources familiar with long-term celebrity planning say that what makes this situation particularly unusual is the level of consistency across multiple independent reports. While rumors often conflict, the information circulating around Kelce and Swift has remained largely aligned. Privacy first, emotionally grounded, and strategically timed. This consistency has led many senior editors in entertainment newsrooms to greenlight extended coverage, viewing the story not as tabloid speculation but as an unfolding cultural narrative. One recurring point of discussion is security. High-profile weddings in recent years have shown a clear shift toward discreet, multi-layered protection strategies, often coordinated months in advance. Experts suggest that if Kelce and Swift are indeed moving forward, security planning alone would require early commitments, especially given their global visibility. This has fueled further speculation that logistical groundwork may already be underway, even if final details remain unconfirmed. The role of non-disclosure agreements has also drawn attention. In events involving A-list figures, NDAs are often implemented well before any public acknowledgement, extending to venue staff, vendors, and even secondary contractors. Several industry insiders have noted an unusual lack of leaks from circles that typically produce early details, reinforcing theories that strict confidentiality measures may already be in place. Cultural analysts argue that the fascination surrounding this potential wedding reflects a broader shift in how audiences engage with celebrity relationships. Rather than focusing solely on glamour, public interest increasingly centers on authenticity, longevity, and emotional resonance. In this context, Kelce and Swift's rumored approach, quiet, intentional, and meaning-driven, aligns closely with current audience sentiment, which may explain the sustained engagement rather than fatigue. There is also growing discussion around how the couple's differing industries influence expectations. Professional sports culture often values stability, teamwork, and long-term planning, while the music industry thrives on reinvention and narrative arcs. Observers suggest that the intersection of these mindsets could be shaping the reported wedding concept. Structured yet expressive, disciplined yet deeply personal. International fan communities have added another layer to the discourse. In Asia, Europe, and South America, online forums and fan pages have closely tracked translations of U.S. reports, often framing the potential marriage as a symbolic moment in global pop culture. This worldwide engagement underscores how any official announcement would resonate far beyond American media cycles. Despite the scale of attention, there is a notable absence of urgency from those closest to the story. Unlike typical celebrity engagements that escalate rapidly toward public confirmation, this narrative continues to unfold at a measured pace. Media strategists suggest this may be intentional, allowing anticipation to build organically while avoiding overexposure. Some commentators have even speculated that the couple may choose to separate the legal and ceremonial aspects of marriage, a trend among high-profile figures seeking greater control over publicity. While purely speculative, this theory reflects how carefully audiences are parsing every possibility, searching for patterns that align with the couple's reported values. As speculation continues, one thing remains clear. The story has moved beyond whether a wedding will happen and into how it will redefine expectations. The focus is no longer on spectacle alone, but on meaning, privacy, and cultural impact. This shift marks a notable evolution in celebrity coverage, driven as much by audience values as by the subjects themselves. Until Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift choose to speak directly, the narrative will remain shaped by informed observation rather than confirmation. Yet the accumulation of signals, behavioral changes, consistent reporting, and strategic silence suggests that whatever comes next will be intentional and carefully framed. In a media landscape defined by immediacy, the slow burn of the story may ultimately be its most powerful element, keeping global attention fixed until the final piece of the puzzle is revealed. Veteran observers of celebrity culture point out that stories like this rarely sustain momentum without a foundation of credible signals. In this case, the narrative surrounding Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift continues to be reinforced by subtle yet repeated indicators that align with long-term planning rather than short-lived speculation. Editors at several major outlets have noted that internal discussions now treat the story as an evolving development, not a rumor to be dismissed, largely because none of the reported elements have been publicly denied. Another factor driving attention is the way both individuals have adjusted their communication styles. Swift, whose public messaging has historically been precise and symbolic, has recently leaned into more neutral, understated language when addressing fans. There are fewer coded messages, fewer Easter eggs, and a noticeable pause in narrative-driven hints. To analysts familiar with her patterns, this restraint is striking. It suggests a moment where personal life is being intentionally separated from public storytelling, a boundary she rarely enforces unless something significant is being protected. Kelce's side presents a similar pattern. Known for his charisma and openness, he has recently redirected conversations toward professional topics, often deflecting personal questions with brief, non-committal responses. Sports media insiders describe this as a clear deviation from his usual comfort with blending personal anecdotes into interviews. Such a shift, they argue, typically reflects guidance from advisors who are preparing for a moment that requires heightened control. Behind these visible changes, discussions about legacy have reportedly become more central. Both Swift and Kelce occupy positions at the peak of their respective fields, and analysts believe that major personal decisions at this stage are often evaluated through the lens of long-term impact. Marriage, in this context, is not framed as a headline-grabbing event, but as a structural choice that influences future priorities, geographic stability, and public engagement. There is also growing interest in how the couple's combined influence could reshape philanthropic efforts. While no joint initiatives have been announced, observers note that both have independently supported charitable causes throughout their careers. A potential union could quietly align these efforts, creating a shared platform that operates largely outside traditional publicity channels. Experts suggest that this kind of alignment often begins behind the scenes, well before any formal announcement. Media psychologists have weighed in on why public fascination remains so intense. They argue that the appeal lies not just in fame, but in contrast. Swift's carefully constructed artistic world and Kelce's team-oriented athletic identity represent different yet complementary forms of success. The idea of these worlds converging through marriage offers a narrative of balance that resonates strongly with audiences navigating their own complexities. At the same time, industry professionals caution against expecting dramatic revelations. If history is any guide, the confirmation, should it come, may arrive in a manner that feels almost understated. A short statement, a single image, or a quiet acknowledgement could replace the traditional spectacle, leaving much of the story intentionally untold. This approach would align with the broader theme emerging from all credible reporting: control through simplicity. The sustained global interest has also prompted conversations about media responsibility. Several outlets have publicly stated that they are exercising restraint, choosing not to publish unverified details despite high demand. This measured approach reflects an understanding that overexposure could undermine the very authenticity that makes the story compelling. It also signals a shift in how major celebrity narratives are handled in an era of audience fatigue with constant sensationalism. As the weeks progress, the story continues to exist in a space between confirmation and silence. Each appearance, absence, or scheduling decision adds another layer without fully revealing the picture. For many observers, this slow accumulation of context has become more engaging than a sudden announcement would be. Ultimately, whether the next chapter brings confirmation or continued discretion, the trajectory is already notable. The rumored plans surrounding Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift have evolved into a case study in modern celebrity dynamics, where privacy, intention, and cultural significance intersect. Until the couple chooses to define the moment on their own terms, public attention will remain fixed, drawn not by spectacle, but by the quiet gravity of what appears to be a carefully considered future taking shape just beyond the spotlight. Further examination of the situation reveals how unusually disciplined the information flow has become. Incomparable high-profile relationships, peripheral figures, friends of friends, secondary industry contacts, or anonymous venue staff often become the first source of leaks. In this case, however, there has been a notable absence of such secondary chatter. Media watchdogs interpret this silence as a strong indication that preparations, if underway, are being managed within an exceptionally tight circle. Entertainment lawyers familiar with celebrity unions note that this level of containment typically suggests early-stage coordination between legal, security, and logistical teams. These preparations are not necessarily confirmation of an imminent ceremony, but they do point to discussions that have moved beyond hypothetical conversations. In many cases, these steps are taken simply to ensure that options remain open without forcing a public timeline. Another layer of intrigue comes from subtle shifts in geographic patterns. Both Swift and Kelce have reportedly been adjusting their travel schedules in ways that minimize overlap with high-traffic public events. Analysts tracking celebrity movement patterns, a niche but growing field within entertainment media, have noted longer stays in fewer locations, a pattern commonly associated with private planning periods. While these movements can be explained by professional demands, their timing has not gone unnoticed. Music industry insiders also point to a broader pause in Swift's long-term public storytelling arc. Historically, her creative output and public appearances are woven together into cohesive eras. Recently, however, that structure appears intentionally loosened. There is less emphasis on thematic continuity and more on neutrality. Commentators suggest this may be a deliberate decision to prevent personal milestones from being subsumed into artistic narratives before she is ready to address them on her own terms. On the sports side, Kelce's future planning has become a recurring topic among NFL commentators. Discussions about career longevity, post-retirement opportunities, and personal stability have taken on greater prominence. While none of this directly confirms wedding plans, the alignment of personal and professional recalibration continues to feed speculation that a significant life transition is being considered. International coverage has added to the story's weight. Major outlets outside the United States have framed the rumors less as celebrity gossip and more as a cultural development, highlighting how the pairing represents a convergence of global entertainment power. This framing has elevated the conversation, positioning it within discussions of influence, media evolution, and the changing nature of public figures' private lives. Audience behavior data further supports the idea that this story has tapped into something deeper than curiosity. Engagement metrics show sustained interest without the sharp spikes and drops typical of rumor-driven news. Analysts attribute this to the perceived credibility of the reporting and the measured tone adopted by reputable outlets. Rather than chasing sensational angles, coverage has focused on patterns, context, and historical precedent. There is also an emerging conversation about how such an event, if confirmed, could reset expectations for celebrity weddings. In recent years, highly publicized ceremonies have often been accompanied by exclusive media deals or curated content releases. In contrast, the reported approach here suggests a move away from commodification, emphasizing personal meaning over monetization. Cultural critics argue this could influence how future public figures approach similar milestones. Despite the extensive analysis, uncertainty remains the defining characteristic of the story. No dates, no official locations, and no direct statements have been provided. This ambiguity, paradoxically, has strengthened the narrative rather than weakening it. Each unanswered question invites further observation, keeping attention focused without exhausting public interest. As the situation continues to unfold, media outlets remain cautious, aware that premature conclusions could undermine credibility. The prevailing consensus among senior editors is that confirmation, when it comes, will likely validate many, but not all of the assumptions currently circulating. Until then, the story exists in a state of informed anticipation. In the broader context of modern celebrity culture, this unfolding narrative stands out for its restraint. It reflects a shift toward intentional privacy and long-term thinking at the highest levels of public life. Whether or not a wedding announcement arrives in the near future, the way Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are navigating this moment has already left a mark, demonstrating that even under constant global scrutiny, it is still possible to move carefully, deliberately, and on one's own terms.